Gil Martin here, and welcome everybody to today's episode of the Daily Packers Post, where we bring you in-depth daily coverage of your Green Bay Packers. We have new episodes every day, Monday through Friday, so make sure you hit the like button and subscribe so you get new episodes as soon as they come out. Today, we're discussing whether or not the Packers can repair relations with Jaire Alexander. Will Alexander be traded? Will he be released? Or will he remain a Green Bay Packer? And it just seems after the draft and due to some reporting from ESPN's Rob Domofsky that the chances of Alexander remaining a Packer seem to be increasing with each passing day. Not that it's still more likely that he stays than that he goes, but it's looking more and more possible. And look, here's why. You look over Alexander's career. He was the Packers' first-round pick in 2018, the very first-round pick Brian Gutekunst made in his tenure as GM. And he had an immediate impact. Started 11 games as a rookie, was the team's best cover corner really quickly after starting to see the field, has earned Pro Bowl honors in both 2020 and 2022. In 2022, he intercepted a career-high 5 passes. The issue, or the main issue, as most fans are aware, that the Packers have with Jaire Alexander, his inability to stay on the field. In the last 2 seasons, he has played 7 games a year due to assorted injuries, and in 3 of the last 4 years, he played 7, 7, and 4 games in a season. Just keeping him healthy has been a big problem. There was a minor incident in 2023. Alexander, before a game in Carolina, unilaterally decided he was going to name himself team captain, went out there for the coin toss and kind of almost blew it. In fact, the referees more or less had to bail him out when he said, made the wrong call, basically, as far as when he was given the option to take the ball or defer. And the Packers ended up suspending him for 1 game due to conduct detrimental to the team. Theoretically, that got straightened out. But after the 2024 season ended, when the players were clearing out their locker room, Alexander made some comments that made a lot of people wonder whether or not he'd be back in Green Bay this coming season. And Brian Gutekunst has been non-committal throughout the offseason, basically saying, we're talking to Jaire, we'll see how this works out, not closing the door on a return, but not closing the door on a trade or a release either. Now, the key here is the cap hit. Jaire will have a cap hit of $24.6 million in 2025, according to overthecap.com. And for a guy who has played just 14 of the last 34 possible regular season games, that is a super high number. And according to a lot of reports, the Packers have said, hey, we'd like you to take a pay cut. And Alexander has basically refused to do that up until now. So here's what we do know. At no point in public did Alexander say he was demanding a trade or that he wasn't happy being a Packer. That has not happened. And the Packers did not take a cornerback in the draft until the 7th round and did not sign a cornerback in free agency after they signed Hobbs, who is, again, not a cornerback 1. He is either a slot corner or a perimeter corner, but he's definitely not, a dominant cornerback shutdown kind of a guy like Alexander can be. So where do we stand right now? Again, there are 3 options. The Packers can find a trade partner. That didn't happen at the draft. A lot of people thought that would be an opportunity, especially on day 3, where the Packers could have, gotten a 4th or a 5th round pick for Alexander or another player. That didn't happen. So they could still trade him at some point before training camp gets underway. If they can't find a trade partner, then the options are you can release him outright. And if they wait until after June 1st, they can spread that out over 2 years, or they can reach some kind of an agreement to keep him in Green Bay. And it seems like in order to do that, Jaire will have to agree to take a little less than the $24.6 million that he's due this year. And here's the key. You know, you can cut through all the different rhetoric and all the rumors and all of that, but eventually it becomes a question of economics. The Packers are okay, cap space wise, keeping Alexander on the roster. They are not crunched at this moment for cap space. But to commit $24.6+ million to a guy who hasn't been on the field, that's a risky proposition. And obviously the Packers don't feel comfortable doing that. So the question will become, first of all, does another team make an offer that the Packers find acceptable as a trade? That's the first thing. And that's good for the Packers because, you know, let's say theoretically the Packers cut him. He could sign with the Lions or the Bears or the Eagles or some team that the Packers are either in the division or in the conference with. If the Packers trade him, they have at least a say in where he ends up, and preferably that would be in the AFC or to a team that the Packers don't view as, you know, a legitimate contending team in the NFC. So that's one. But if there is no trade, the question is this. Would Alexander make more money on the open market if the Packers were to release him as a free agent, or would the reduced salary that the Packers offer him be more than what he would make on the open market as an unrestricted free agent if the Packers cut him? It may just come down to that. And it may end up being, if the Packers keep him this year, a marriage of convenience, so to speak, where the Packers know they have a better secondary with Alexander on the field. Alexander will make more money staying with the Packers, and he'll have a chance to play and start and set himself up for a bigger payday, whether it's with the Packers or whether it's with another team after the 2025 season. So it is going to be very much about economics, and the key may be how well Alexander's agent gauges the market and what teams would offer him if the Packers were to release him. We will see how this all plays out. I'd still say it's more like 65-35 or 60-40 that Alexander is not a Packer in 2025. But each passing day, the odds of him staying grow a little bit more. Don't forget to check out our website at thepackerspost.com for in-depth articles on the Packers every day, Monday through Saturday. Thanks for watching this episode of the Daily Packers Post. Click on the like button and subscribe so you never miss an episode. I'm Gil Martin. Have a great day. And of course, go Pack Go.